everybody, it's Nettie Price. I create whimsical, vibrant, and fun sparkling art. Today, I'd love to show you how I paint adorable pet eyes. So I'm going to show you step by step on how I make it happen. Before I do though, I'm going to hook up my camera. I'm going to put it up top. I built this contraption to hold it so that you could see. And I'm so glad that I can do this. It's a beautiful day. It's a little chilly. So that's all right. I'm inside. Let me just make sure I'm set up here and we're going to get started on the pet eyes. So here's another example. I'm going to show you kind of like what my pet eyes look like. If you notice, it's very simple. There's shapes. Square, half of a circle in layers, and then the highlights. So, let's just start with this one. Let's look at it so you can look at the square. As you can see, if we look at this one right here, we have two squares, and it looks like this. We have two squares. So if you're familiar with my artwork, you'll know that I start out with black first, and then I layer on top of it. So when I did the cat, I did the outline of the cat, and then I cut in two squares. And if you notice, the tops of the squares are like a rooftop. They're like this. So they point up, and that gives it like an endearing look. If you go like this with the tops of the squares, it makes them look mean. So here we have the sides of the squares, and they're going like that. The next step is I want to put in the whites of the eyes. So let me just make sure everything's working okay. Hi Laura, how are ya? Here we go. I'm going to show you easy steps, Laura. Easy steps to do the eyes. So, okay, now we're going to do the next step. I'm going to pull up my chair. And the next step is going to be the white. Don't even worry about the eyelashes or the black or the highlight. We're just going to do the white. And I'm going to start with this one so that you can see the first layer. Now I'm going to go with the angle, you know, how I said about the top of the angle, and I want to leave some black showing. So then I'm going to do a half circle. And then I'm going to paint around. And notice I'm not doing the highlight, I'm not doing the center of the pupil, we're just doing layers. And I'm using a small brush with a tip. Okay. Now sometimes you have to do a few different layers, or layer after layer. And I'm going to do the next eye. I'm going to leave some black. And I'm going to go around, and I'm making a half circle. And I'm coming down. I want to keep the paint even, so I'm going to go over it and get out like the streaks. Okay, so there's one. I'm going to pull it up so you can see. Okay, now I'm going to do the next cat. Now notice his eyes are a lot smaller. And they're different sizes. I do that on purpose because it makes them quirky. It makes them different. Everybody's unique. And when I first started painting this way, I used to paint the kids in my classroom as cats and dogs. So I used to make them and like really quirky. Just the quirkier the better. So here I'm going to do the same thing. Now if you notice, this one is not a perfect square, but that's okay. The important thing is that the tops of the squares are on a slant downward. So then I'm gonna, did you hear that? So here we go, around. I'm gonna do the other eye. And just going to paint around with the white. Now this has to dry before I do the next layer. So as a filler, just going to keep going over it. As a filler, I'm going to do the rest of the cat just to do stuff because I don't have another painting to work on. Okay, so that's it for the first layer. I'm going to take a bigger brush, and if you notice, I'm just going to show you a little bit about how I paint. I don't ever, well, very rarely, I shouldn't say ever, never say never. I don't mix it on the plate, I just dip it in the paint. So I'm going to just fill in this, and I love how the paint just, you know, it mixes on the canvas. And a lot of times, I always use white, and then I pay attention to the colors that are next to colors. So for example, here we have the pink going against the yellow. So I'm going to make it, you know, go into the yellow. All right. I'm just going to fill this color in just so that we have something to do while the white, I'm going to blow on it, I think. So what do you guys think? Do you like the way this is set up? This is my very first tutorial. And I used to be a teacher. That's kind of funny, right? But I think it's, you know, it's just a different way of communicating, and to do it on camera for me was just, you know, just different. So that's all right. I'm just going to get this tail in there, and go like this. Let's just look at the next layer. I'm going to dry that out a little bit. This is Black Cat Necktie. I love this picture, and I'm hoping that you can see it pretty good. And if you look at the eyes, now this way, this cat is black, so I had to outline the square with just a white line, and then I left this part black. Then I did the half moon shape in white, and the only difference between this one and the Three Kitty Love picture is that I added a layer of green. So if you want to make your eyes colors, just do another layer of the half white shape. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to do the black. So now I'm going to do the pupil, and I'm going to get my little brush. Now I'm going to use a smaller brush. And if I want to later, I can go back in and do another layer of the white. Oh, thanks, Laura. I'm glad. I'm glad you like it. Okay, so the eyes. Right now they're like zombie cats, and they're really good for Halloween. But we want them looking at each other. And a good idea for composition is to have not just one, whatever it is, but to have two or more than two, and then having them interact, because that's the way it tells a story. So I'm going to have this cat looking at this cat, and this cat looking at that cat. So I want the eyes to point that way. So what I'm going to do, and hopefully this is dry enough, and if it's not, that's okay, because I can do layers. I can do more than one layer. So it is mixing up a little bit, but that's all right. It's no big deal. This is for demonstration purposes. So I'm filling in the pupil, and then I'm going, oh gosh, did I really just do that? I just put my arm on there. Wow, way to go. That's all right. So I'm gonna have this eye. Now the distance between the pupil and the end of the eye has to be the same, otherwise they're gonna have googly eyes. So, see the distance here? I'm gonna do the same on this side, and then make a half moon. And come around. put another layer on there. Okay, so this cat's looking that way. These little beady eyes are gonna look that way. So I'm gonna come around. Now I'm gonna show you a trick. See how my eyes, they're kind of weird looking. I use a Sharpie marker right here. Sharpie. So any line that I do that just doesn't look as clean, I use a Sharpie marker. I use a Sharpie marker for the eyelashes, and I use a Sharpie marker to cut in the square. I don't know if you can see, this picture has the highlight is a square, and that's what I use. So don't even get caught up on any of that stuff, because that's for after it dries. There you go. Painting it in. See how this one's looking up at the other one? Okay. Now, I would like this to be more white, so I'm going to go back in and do another layer of white. I'm just going to clean out my brush and get the water off of it and go back in with the white. Now you don't have to do the whole area of white, because if you think about it, eyes are round, they have dimension. So you want to leave some of the shading that you've already created by doing layers on top of black. So this gray is useful. So I'm going to leave some of it there, and I'm going to come around and just fill it in a little bit. And it really gives the eyeball depth. That's the way that's the reason why I love painting this way, is because when you have shadow that creates the depth of an item or an object or whatever you're doing, you do that because you wouldn't be able to do it from layers. If I added black to the white, it wouldn't come out the same than if I had the layer of black and then the layer of white and used those shadows to build up. So yeah, that's what I really love. Now I'm going to do a little bit more right in this corner. And here we have the eyes looking at each other. Now I'm going to show you the last part of what I'm going to do with the paint. And I'm not going to use the paintbrush side. I'm going to use the end, the wooden end. And what I'm going to do is create highlights. So this one is easy to see. So we did the square with the tops like a rooftop. We did the white layer, then we did the black pupil layer, and now we're going to do the highlight. Now, like I said, to make these highlights square, I used a Sharpie after it dried. But to get that white on there, notice the placement of it on the square. This is really important, is that you have to make sure that the highlight is in the same quadrant on each eye. Otherwise, you're going to have like googly eye. So I'm going to take my paintbrush, I'm going to dip it in the white, I'm going to take the wooden end of it, and then I'm going to go in the upper right hand quadrant, one dot, that's it. Dip it into the paint. I'm going to do the same spot on the other eye. One dot. See how they're on the same side of the eye? This cat. Now the light, picture the light is coming in this way. So I'm going to do the dot on this side of the eye for the little guy. One dot. That's it. And then another dot in the same area. So that's how you get the basis of it. Now to finish it off, I'm going to let this dry, okay? I'm going to let it dry. I'm not going to touch it. I may put another layer in of the white, and then I can use my Sharpie marker. I'm going to show you on here what I do. So let's just say these are the eyes, okay? And then we're going to have them looking this way. And then we did the pupil, you know, the black. And then we had the highlight. So the eyelashes, you just take your Sharpie marker and go from the top and work your way out. Don't do it with the paint because it's not going to work. Like that. Because I love eyelashes. I got that from my mom. She used to do that all the time with eyelashes on her animals. So then if they're like a little bit shaky, I had too much coffee this morning. I'm just going to go over them like that and have this nice, and I'll go over that with the Sharpie. My music stopped, so I'm going to put some more on. And hi, Michelle. And then I'm going to finish this part and go over them. And that is how I create adorable pet eyes. Just like this one of 3 Cat Love. Now, if you like this video, if you could please give it a like and a share, or you can like my page, Nettie Price Sparkling Art. I have more artwork, more whimsical, vibrant, and fun artwork at nettieprice.com. So head on over there, check it out, join my email list so that you can find out when I'm painting next. I love this, painting on Facebook Live. So let me know in the comment section below if you want to see more tutorials. They're going to be really short and easy, and hopefully you will be able to create your own whimsical, vibrant, and fun sparkling art. Have a great day. Take care.